Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at a huge shift on the horizon, what some are calling the Agentic Economy. We're talking about the next 5 years, roughly 2025 to 2030.
Exactly. And it's really this collision course between, decades of human market wisdom, let's call it analog wisdom,
Right.
and the just explosive power of autonomous AI, the digital autonomy.
So our mission for this deep dive is to get to the bottom of this conflict.
Yeah, we need to figure out why the human investor isn't obsolete yet. There's this critical window where human knowledge is basically the mandatory governance layer for these AI agents.
So it's this fundamental split. You have the old world contrarian psychology on one side, and on the other, this new hyper-efficient digital execution. Let's start with the human advantage. You mentioned it all comes down to cycles.
It does. The whole game is really understanding the 4-year market cycle, which, is often anchored by the Bitcoin halving. But the key insight is that this cycle isn't technical.
It's emotion.
It's purely human emotion, that swing between fear and greed.
And that's where the alpha mentality our sources talk about comes in. It requires you to do the complete opposite of what feels safe.
Yeah.
You have to buy aggressively when the market is in like a deep psychological depression.
When every single model is screaming, strong sell.
Exactly.
And this is the blind spot for AI. Your standard reinforcement learning agent, it's just driven by short-term rewards. It's programmed to be rational in the moment.
Which is its ultimate long-term weakness.
Totally. It just can't execute that contrary action. It risks being, paper hands selling the absolute bottom. A human gets that a market peak is a social phenomenon. It's almost a shared religious experience of a bubble, not just a data point.
Okay, so the psychology is one thing. But let's get into the code. Where do these super efficient bots actually fail? Our sources point to this big capacity gap because crypto markets are so adversarial.
That's it. AI is incredibly vulnerable to something called strategy collapse. It's when an agent just completely fails because the basic market rules it was trained on change. Think about a black swan event like the FTX collapse. The market goes from low to high volatility in an instant.
And the AI has no idea what to do.
It has no common sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't know to just pull funds out and wait. It can't adapt to something truly new.
And it's not just about crashes, is it? It's also about understanding real value. And AI can't really tell the difference between real users and, well, bots.
No, it can't. It sees 10,000 new wallets and can't distinguish between 10,000 passionate users joining a community and 10,000 bots run by one person in a Sybil attack. And that completely breaks its ability to calculate Metcalfe's law, the true network value.
So that leads us to where humans are still essential, at least for the next few years.
Right. There are two key areas. First is DeFi AI. That's decentralized finance plus AI. Here, the human role totally changes. You're no longer the trader, you're the strategy architect.
So the AI is doing the high-speed trading, but the human is setting the big picture rules.
The human defines the risk guardrails based on their read of the cycle. You set a rule like, okay, accumulate ETH, but only if the fear and greed index drops below 20.
I see. And the second area?
That would be DePin, decentralized physical infrastructure. Here, humans are needed for what we call bootstrapping trust.
You mean like building a community?
Exactly. An AI can't replicate the skill of walking into a neighborhood and convincing people to install a piece of hardware, like an antenna or a sensor. That's a deeply human task. It's the last mile trust problem.
So if you put it all together, what's the new job title?
The emerging role is the AI agent operator. This is the person who calibrates the agent's psychological aggression, how contrarian it's allowed to be, and crucially, who holds the kill switch.
The manual override for when things go wrong.
You need to be able to intervene instantly during an algorithmic death spiral or a strategy collapse.
So let's bring it all home. What's the final takeaway for someone listening to this?
It's simple. Don't try to beat the bots on speed. That race is already over. Beat them on long-term, deep, contrarian wisdom.
And the ultimate goal here, the real prize from using AI to automate all this, is to free up your most valuable asset, your time. You shift your focus from the stress of trading to, your actual preference.
And of thought to leave you with. Understanding this new system is the red pill. It shows you that as the old financial middlemen get wiped out, the individual sovereign investor, the person armed with human wisdom to guide the machines, has never,